Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck.
Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Samantha Cummings, here with my co-host Matilda Swift, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over 24 books between us and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our Mastery Through Missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way, and this week we are talking about building a community with our readers. But before we do that, let's do our wins and whinges of the week.
Oh my goodness. Who would believe it? My win is, it was our mastermind day today. Yes, finally. There was one that ended early, but not in a storming out way, just because we had so many deep thoughts that we were like, my brain is done. And we've achieved everything on a list, so let us go home and relax, because we're just pretty chill people like that.
Brian did ask if we'd fallen out. He's like, is everything okay? It's like, yeah, we just were so good.
Yeah, we were so good, and I think everything we discussed it felt so different. I was just saying before we started recording, like, I can't believe the things that we're discussing when we reflect back on them. They feel like really miles away from where we were when we started this podcast. So that is lovely. I know we've got like strong futurists in our strengths, and I keep picturing ourselves like in the future super successful, and people asking us, how did you become so successful? I'm just like, we've got a whole podcast about it. Just listen to that. Listen to all 100 odd episodes, 200 episodes by them. Which is very exciting. I have other wins. I am still doing my little videos daily to reflect on my writing. I've taken the weekend off all social media because I had a really busy day yesterday. I went to a like crime conference, not for doing crime, but like for crime fiction conference thing. But it's like an all day panel of talks, which was lovely. Went with stepmom and then hung out with my parents in the evening, had dinner. But that was like a long day of intense listening. And then today we had a mastermind, so I was like, I'm gonna take this weekend off social media, but it doesn't feel like I'm off forever. I'm just off for this weekend because I'm a social media person now with ease. But yeah, doing those videos, that feels really nice. And because they're on YouTube Shorts, I can just send the links to Gemini and ask it for some feedback how to improve my next ones, which again makes it feel a bit more doable. Other wins, I am starting ads today. Very exciting. We're going to do a longer episode on ads soon, so we will explain more about what we're doing. But I started some ads today. I am back from my retreat, and I have written half of my Christmas book, my first book in my Christmas series. I'm about to start planning my next book in my other series. And I feel like I've got millions more wins. I feel like I could just list on and on and on, which feels lovely. And they all feel like the right sorts of things to be doing. And yeah, and not in a scary way, not in a like, yes, I've finally clawed my way through this. It just is like, yeah, I've done loads of great things. That feels nice. How about you?
I also have Mastermind as my win. We had such a,
but mostly mine.
I'm going to say, I'll start with the whinge, because I've got two whinges before Mastermind. So my first whinge is I got on the train to Mastermind day and it was packed. I had to, from my station is usually, it's like the third one along the way into Manchester, and I get on usually and there's loads of seats. And today the train arrived and it was already just standing room only, and I actually did think I wasn't going to get squeezed into the train. It was chaotic and everyone was just crazy, like people going to watch football. I don't know, because I'm not part of that universe, but it was insane. And then I got to our usual lunch place, and the woman kind of met me at the door and said, "No, not today. We can't open."
It's our second sushi restaurant we've taken down. I'm concerned.
Yeah. So they're my like two really like stupid whinges. That the universe threw up some obstacles today. But yeah, win is that Mastermind was really good. I really feel like we have come so far, but also it feels like we're talking about just really top level stuff, really high level stuff, but we're no longer confused by what we're talking about, and we're no longer struggling to figure stuff out. The conversations are more impactful. It's rather than asking questions, we're making decisions, and that feels really
what we're doing. Yeah,
and it feels really fun. I too have started ads today. I'm starting some ads testing, and my first one is already on a little roll and having some good clicks. Don't think it's going to amount to any money, but that's not what I'm doing it for. But we'll talk about this in a later episode. And I also set myself a little goal I've just decided that every month I want to set myself a little goal of things like KU reads or sales or just something. And the first goal that I set myself for January, I did, and that was nice. And that was just having 1,000 page reads on KU. And generally for me that doesn't happen, which is obviously at some point in the near future I will think that that's nothing. But right now 1,000 page reads for me is fantastic, and I blasted through that quite early in the month. So just feeling great. Just feeling like everything feels easy, but not easy, but just not super stressful. It's just
it feels doable. Like we're able to set targets that have some meaning behind them and work towards those, which I definitely remember there being a time when that wasn't the case, where we just be like, I don't know what to do, I've tried this and I don't understand what I'm doing. And I think we had a lot of more questions than information when we first started, and now it feels like I'm trying this thing for this purpose, might not work, but I know that, and I'm going to learn from doing it. It feels very different. And sorry, I've got a cat today who's determined to cause mischief, and she just jumped up on the laptop, so apologies if she's pressed something.
I would suggest everybody watch this video back on YouTube just for that one moment. That was very cute.
Yes, she is full on mischief mode today. She's already consumed and unconsumed some pistachios. Which are cat safe, luckily, but not cat friendly, turns out. So that's my maybe whinge. But win for the week is, in fact, I would say I have another win in that I had a fantastic conversation with another author who I have started meeting up with about once a month, and it was related to the topic for today. So today's topic is building reader communities. Last week we talked about building writer communities. What is the difference?
I'm glad you asked me this question. I actually did not think about how to answer it.
Interesting.
So obviously writer communities is the friends you make along the way. And reader communities is really more about building a community of readers around you and your books. And that is obviously the golden ticket. Everyone strives for that. Everybody is looking to build a good community of people who trust what you're doing, and either trust in your opinions or trust in like recommendations you make, or trust in the fact that every book that you release is going to be for them in some way. And it's kind of like trying to find your audience, but through social connections. That's kind of how I see it. So for me personally, I really want to reconnect with readers on the internet. Ever since, I've always read, I've always been a reader, and I've always talked to people about books. But as soon as I became an author, I kind of stopped taking part in the reader conversations. And I'll talk to people about books, if it comes up. But generally, I just stopped seeing myself as a reader. And so just to kind of deep dive into what I'm doing, how I'm thinking about this topic, is that I really want to connect with other readers who both share what I like to read, and then know that our similarities and our book tastes will, I won't say convince, but reassure them that what I write would also be for them. How do you feel about this? What's your take on this subject? I know you are battling a cat here.
I genuinely, my instant response is I hate everything about this topic. And
I
really put it off. And I've been trying to think about why I hate it. Part of it is I I'm not a member of any fandom. Like, I'm not a fan of anything. There are things that I really like, but in no way that it's related to being a fan. Like, I don't really buy merch. I don't care for signed things. I don't want to meet other people who like the same thing as I do, which makes me sound like a robot, but I just don't derive any
No,
value
I am
from
the same. Yeah, I am the
being
same.
in a club or something.
I'm not a fan
Yeah.
of anybody. I was actually thinking about this today when I was walking to our mastermind, where I don't know, had this like random thing where I walked past somebody who looked like Timothy Chalamet, like just a little bit, and I thought to and I had, you know, like a fake interaction with somebody else kind of occurred in my brain. It was like somebody saying, "Oh my god, I think that was Timothy Chalamet," and me saying to them, "I do not care." You know, that sort of thing where I'm just like, I'm not interested in idolizing people. And that sometimes I think is how it feels, like you say, getting into like reader spaces where the like authors are treated like celebrities, and I know you absolutely hate that.
Yeah. I think even like, I don't even like it as a reader, right? Like, I don't have any ability to, I don't want to share or be in community with people like the same thing as I do. I don't value that. I don't get any sense of positivity from it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just have no emotional response to it. I like the things that I like just inside my body. That liking doesn't need to leave my body. And so I don't really have any desire or interest in someone to be a fan. And I think that not everyone thinks of building read communities as a fandom thing, but I think there's a lot of discussion around it as fans. And to me, I think fans, they seem, in my head, because it's not something I enjoy, and so I try to understand how it feels, how it might feel. It feels like like a fawningness, like a giddiness, like you're liking the person, not the thing. Because for me, that's how I would have to feel to kind of have that connection. And I don't think that's true, but so I really struggle to kind of get the concept of fans. Like, it almost has like a love feeling. That's how it looks from the outside, and I can't even conceive of wanting that, or even expecting or having any desiring feelings about my books, right? And I'm not saying this is what everyone is perceiving or even what everyone's doing, but that is my current like sense of what it is. And you know, I've read things like Pat Flynn's Superfans, and there's is it Kevin Kelly, Ryan Kelly? I can't remember what his name is, like Thousand True Fans. And I don't like the word fan, so I'm instantly put off by that.
Yes, I do agree. I really don't consider myself a fan of anyone. And there are like musicians that I really like listening to, and I'll always listen to their albums. And there are obviously like authors who I will just instant buy their books and will always be interested in what they're writing. But I'm not a fan of theirs per se. And it does, like, the word, I think probably in this day and age of like the internet and obsession, like people like being like quote unquote more obsessed with stuff than ever before, because the internet's used to sell people things. I don't feel like I gel with this idea of what a fan is anymore anyway. Like, when you were saying about like joining groups where people are like fawning over people, years and years ago, because I really like John Green books when I was younger, and John Green and his brother Hank used to have this YouTube channel, and they might still do, I don't know. And there was,
I think it still exists, but I don't think both of them present on it.
Maybe just Hank does or something. But they from this YouTube channel, they had their own website and like their own forum and stuff kind of bloomed out of this. And I joined thinking that it was going to be like just a place where people talked about books and I don't know, I thought it was just going to be like a cool forum where you could just chat to people about other things, because we all like John Green books, that we would have other things in common. And I lasted maybe a week, if that, on that website, because it became so apparent immediately that people on there were made themselves gatekeepers of the community, and it turned into who's the biggest fan competition, and the way that people were interacting was so cringeworthy and just like it was so awful. I just deleted my profile and never went back
Mm-hmm.
because I just thought,
Yeah.
oh, I actually hate this. And it's the same reason why I don't ever go to like book clubs and stuff. I went to a book club once and I never went back. And this is like with my work colleagues. And I went to I read the first book and I went to the first book club. And after that, I said, I'm not coming back to this. This was not a fun experience. I don't agree with anything any of you said about that book. You're all wrong. And I don't want to talk about this again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not that sort of person.
Mm.
But what I do think about, rather than thinking about fans when I've been thinking about this like reader community, is more really about the fact that I want to be involved in a reader community from my own like high seat. I just want to tell people what I like. And I want that to start a conversation rather than me trying to interact with people and try and win them over. I think I just want to share more about, and this is what I've been thinking. Like, what I really want to do is tune into being a reader again, and have that. I don't know. It's like really difficult to explain and describe because it sounds like it's the exact same thing that I just said I hated.
Is that connected to your writer side though, or is it that you just want to go back to being a reader? Like, is it in order to build more readers?
It is in order to build more readers, but the way that I kind of am seeing it is that what I really want to do is talk more about the books that I like to find my readership. And it's in no way me wanting to build people build a fandom around myself. It's more that I want to try and get into the right circles and see what other people are reading and figure out what we have in common. I just have not thought this through on how to actually explain this. But
that's what we're here for, though. I think
yes.
we're here for the discussion because I think this is a topic where both of us haven't really found a place we feel comfortable. And I think a lot of what we're saying today is not other people's understanding of the topic, right? And so I think because when I think of building a reader community, I instantly think, oh, fandom, unpleasant. It feels just too enthusiastic.
Yes,
it feels inauthentic. Actually, that's what it is. It feels inauthentic, right? It feels like energy without basis. Like a lot of people who are fans, like you're right, they are often like gatekeeping, which is like, why? Why would you be gatekeeping? Why do you have to be the biggest fan? What does that have to do with liking this thing?
Oh, biggest fan.
That's a
really
you problem.
Freak me out. Yeah,
yeah.
Like, it's okay to like things different amounts. It's okay.
Yeah.
No one's better.
I don't need to like things the most. I don't even need to like things. Yeah, I think there's something performative and unauthentic about it in my perception of it, because I don't understand what else you could be getting out of it. And obviously people are getting something out of it that I just don't feel. Like it's not something that I experience myself. So whenever I think of reader communities, I think of fandom and I push away from the idea because it feels unpleasant to me. And then the other thing I think of is because I'm a crazy mystery author, a lot of crazy mystery groups and collections of readers are on Facebook, and it often feels like really noise, like a lot of noise-based conversations, like what's on your TBR, what hot drink are you drinking today. And I'm in a Facebook group where it's several authors together and we're trying to build a group that's trying to engage readers, and we're really working hard to find other sorts of ways to engage people that are not just what's the weather like where you are. That's not just noise. It's really trying to get to know people and get people excited to engage and participate in a conversation, just to build a conversation with the right sort of people and just kind of in an authentic way. And I have found that really useful. I only have to post one day a week, and I've been working to improve engagement and really ask questions that are getting to know people. And because I'm a learner, and I love learning anything, the thing that I found easiest and most rewarding to ask people about is real questions about things that they are interested in, they want to share, and often it's about places that they live. So last week on my writing retreat, I was near a place called Beaver Castle, or at least that's how you pronounce it, but it's spelled as if it's Belvoir Castle, but people say Beaver, and so there's a lot of places like that. There's a lot of places everywhere like that. So I just posted that bit about the castle, asked people about places near them that are pronounced differently to how they're spelled. and what the story behind it is. And like people had stories about, like Beaver Castle comes from a French pronunciation, but the English hate the French, so they just refuse to pronounce it that way. Lots of places in America had Native American names, and obviously people had butchered those over the years to something else, or they're related to a dialect. So interesting things. And I asked about like different train journeys people had been on, like long distance train journeys. I love a long distance train journey. And I'd been on one recently. I asked about different things that had been filmed near people, because I was on a train journey that went past somewhere where something interesting had been filmed. So asking like actual questions that I found interesting has helped me engage more. And it's helping me sort of make a more authentic connection with people, but it doesn't necessarily relate to my books, but it's building up a sense of conversation. It's building up some sort of interest. But I think that's still not far enough. Like it's not quite aiming towards where I want it to go. But at least it's helped me understand in myself what I don't like about other groups. And if you can hear my cat, sorry, she's meowing out in the background. It's helped me understand more about like the thing I don't like is a question where I don't care about the answer. Like I really asking someone a question where I don't care about the answer, that feels so fake and unpleasant to me. And not to everyone, but just really to me, like I dislike myself having that sort of conversation.
Yes. It's funny because we were talking about this today about, I think, the amount of times that I see people on Instagram in particular, and I'm sure it happens on TikTok, but I just don't see these sorts of posts on TikTok. But people are just posting pictures of really, really popular books, the new books that are out. And generally I expect when somebody posts a picture of a book, and this is just like my expectation, so this isn't like what I think the rule is, this is just what I expect when I see this sort of post on Instagram, is a picture of a book and somebody saying, have you read this book? What did you think? And then when I read the rest of the caption, they haven't read that book either. They've just got a picture of a really popular book and asked a question. It's basically, I guess it's not content mining, but engagement mining. Yeah. So and that feels so inauthentic that every time I see those sorts of posts, I get really like put off of the fact that like people are doing that. And then I hate the fact that sometimes I think, well, maybe I could post pictures of books that I haven't read yet. But then I think, like, but why would I want an empty interaction where my only reply would be, yeah, I've not read it yet, but I can't wait. But then it did get me thinking that I need to start posting more about the books that I'm reading, because this is really where I want to find my reader community, is with shared interests. Because I just love like the books that I love, and I want to talk to people about them. I just don't, and I really have shied away from sharing really much about what I'm reading. And I will post one picture on Instagram of the book that I'm currently reading, and then that's it. I never go back to it. I never tell people what I think of it. And I feel like
posting all the way through reading it, but like, oh, I went this great passage today that shows like this is the sort of thing you love.
Exactly. And I think
there's a scene like that in my own work.
Yes, and I think it's building up an expectation of what people will see from me. So if they know that these are the sorts of books that I'm reading and the things that I like and that's the things that they like, then they will feel more connected to me and like I'm a real person rather than somebody just constantly trying to sell their own stuff. It means that I am being more open with people about like my own likes, which I feel I struggle with on that sort of, it's not even a deeper level, but I do like to show people just like very surface level stuff because it's so easy just to do that. But I really would like to have better conversations and try and foster like a little bit more of a community around me, but also just around them, I suppose. Like I think that's probably it. It's more, I'm really interested to find people who have like that maybe I would be interested in following back. You know, it's just that sort of, I really like I like other people and I like learning about other people. And if that's something that I like, I should be building that into my processes or what I'm doing. I don't want to add extra stuff to my to-do list. I want to do things that I'm already doing, which is reading. And I just want to tag on the extra bits, which is talking to people about what I'm reading. So that's kind of where I'm landing, is that I want to find my community, my reader community, through my own reading. And that feels like the best, easiest way for me to do that. And it feels like I'm excited to do it because I've been reading some really good books recently, and I don't want to go onto forums to talk about it. I don't want to go onto Goodreads and see what other people think about it. I just want to say what I think, and then and then just have conversations in a place that I'm already spending time, which is Instagram. I don't really want to. I don't want it to be a hard sell. I want it to be a soft sell.
Yeah, I think it's useful to think about like the direction that you want the conversation to be going. Like, is it both the ways? Is it top down? Is it like? And I think that is something that I hadn't really been thinking about until recently. And I like my newsletter. I like sending my newsletter because it allows me to take the time to kind of compose my thoughts, and it's almost like a diary. I put my ideas together and I can share that with people. It feels like I'm sharing, and it's things that I think people want to know about because it's my cats, and I share like interesting, cute English village details, and I share what I've been reading for like book recommendations, and I want that to be the end of the conversation. And I really find it difficult to reply to reader emails because I want all my conversations to be as like intense as our conversation right now, right? I really want like a one-on-one conversation where I'm deeply invested in what someone's thinking, how they're feeling, because I'm a real introvert. Like I only want kind of intense one-on-one conversations. And so when someone emails me in reply to my newsletter, that to me feels like the start of an intense one-on-one conversation. And I feel like I have to kind of maintain that level of like sharing and caring and interest. And I'm aware that many people would not feel that way, but that is the level of conversation that I engage in. And I just don't care for chit chat. So if someone sends me a reply, in my brain and in my body, it feels the same way as if someone had like come up to me, like a best friend's come up to me and had a conversation about their relationship breakdown. Like it's that much emotional like requirement from me. So I really hate it.
Have you thought about chit-chat. Turning off replies?
No, but I had a good suggestion the other day that was to put something at the end of my newsletter just saying, while I read all replies, time pressures for writing means that I don't have time to engage and reply to all your emails, but I do read and love receiving them. Just because I think the expectation is there that if people reply to you, you're going to respond back. And I'm terrible at it because
It's funny as well because I sometimes will reply to people's emails that I'm signed up to, and I never expect a reply.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But I think many people do.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. I think you should probably put something at the end which just says
people are like me and be like, yeah, of course you wouldn't reply to that. You're busy. You've got your emotional, creative writing energy going to your books.
Yes, but when you get a reply, when somebody emails you, it's basically like a ringing phone.
Yeah,
and you have to answer it.
100%.
Oh, yeah, that's
I can hear
tough.
it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
sucks.
I'm really... Yeah, and we could just say like, oh, just don't be like that. But like fundamentally, I'm not going to not be like that. That's where I'm at. And I want to find ways. I'm very dedicated at the moment to like finding ways to work with how I think and feel, not just assume I'm going to wake up tomorrow as a different person. So if I engage in a two-way conversation, I can only do it on like a very intense, deep level. So I think that if I'm going to form any sort of reader community, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be me saying things and people not replying, ideally. And like me facilitating a space in which almost like we're in like a silent reading group. Right? So it's like I can set up a silent reading group and I can put some like snacks out and some crafts around. Like I run my Christmas party. My Christmas party is basically all I want to do is like lay out loads of nice food and put some Christmas music on and invite people around, and then just sort of I would ideally just have one. I mostly just have one-on-one conversations with people. It's not a big group conversation. Like I will one-on-one talk to people, maybe two-on-one, but like it's in the living room, so there's no big party feeling. And even that I find exhausting, but in a way that I find rewarding enough.
I think it's really fun, actually, that I hadn't thought about this before, but it's a really fun thing to think about, is what do you expect from social interactions and what do you feel comfortable with? Because I've never really thought about this, but I love a group interaction. I love being in a big room, and not for long periods of time, but I love going to like a house party or going out for dinner with a big group and hearing the hubbub of like everybody talking and tuning into different conversations. And this is like probably my ambivert thing and like my ADHD thing, where I like to listen to a lot of conversations at once, and I like to chip in here and then turn around and join in that conversation over there, and then get the heck out when I'm tired. Yeah. And I feel like I can that's how I can control my Instagram like that, because I don't feel the need to check my messages or reply to messages instantly. And I know that's something that a lot of people don't like, and I've trained myself in some ways to be like that, because I don't, and I do this at work as well in my day job, is I try not to reply to emails immediately, because I don't want people to expect that I'm instantly available. So I will often leave people's emails unread for an hour or so before I reply, and sometimes it's just to confirm that something's been done, but I don't want people to expect me to be there waiting for them to email me, even if I'm not doing any work. I'm still gonna wait. And I do try and do that with Instagram, but I'd never really thought about that before, about the fact that I like to control both how much I interact with people, how many conversations I'm involved with at a time, and then leaving. And that's like a fun thing to realize, like, oh yeah, I like to just disappear, an Irish exit.
Which I would feel awful.
Yeah, like I think I like to really
I like to provide a lot, and like I think it's a bit like the what's the other one that's not learner that's similar as a strength? I can't remember. I know a place about learning, but one of them is about you like to learn a lot so you can share a lot with people. You like to go deep and go wide, and then also share a lot with people. And I feel like I like that in all areas of my life. So I really like to provide what I think people will enjoy, and that's how I'm showing I'm caring for them. Like my Christmas party, right? Like I will really consider different interesting foods and the foods will be a talking point. Like this year I made my Duke of Cambridge tart, and I really enjoyed and valued being able to explain the history of the Duke of Cambridge tart to people, which I'm aware now actually sounds very boring as a conversation topic, but everyone was interested, I promise, and it was delicious.
Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, because you're very good at
it's the
explaining
old tart in
things.
England, guys.
You have a really good way of explaining stuff and telling stories. I know you're good at writing, but you're also good at verbally telling stories. Not everybody is good at that, and I think that is a huge plus that you have. It's such a skill. Do you think how do you think that that's going to dictate the way that you build a reading community?
So I think I'm going to have a Patreon. And I think I'm not in any rush to do it, but I think that's what I want to work towards, because it feels to me like a place where, because I think there's other options you can have, right? So I could have a Substack, because I do love sharing things. I could write blog posts, but it feels a bit too similar to social media. Like it goes down people's feeds. You can't kind of collect people together. There's no quiet collective space. And I think with a Patreon, you can have a free Patreon if you really want to just not think about it as a monetized space, but you have your own Patreon. It's it's almost like a mini website where you get to control what is available to different people. I think because I love creating things and finding things out and sharing them, and I'm often creating or got loads of ideas as well for interesting things I can share with people, right? I make a little mini newspaper of the villages that I write about, and I've made a book club kit, and I made little Kindle cutout inserts for my books. It's a lot of that stuff I feel I don't know quite what to do with, and sometimes I share it in my newsletter, but that's very transient, and then it's gone. And then if you join my newsletter later, I'm bad at resharing, and I don't have this stuff on my website, and I share recipes and then they're just gone. And I would love a place where I love sharing information, and the information I want to share is stuff that my readers will be interested in, because they love cute English villages and baking and crafts. It's that's all the things I love. And so, yeah, I want to have more of like a hub that I think of as like a sharing spot,
Yeah.
which then doesn't feel like a chatty spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it to feel like here's a place where I've put lots of things for you. You can chat amongst yourselves about these things. I might drop in occasionally to, add some more, but I'm not going to be chit chatting all the time. And that I think
Yes.
feels good to me. And it feels good to have really thought about the different things that I like and don't like. And I want a space where I will find value from it. Like this podcast we do, it brings us no money. Like, and that's not really
Mm-hmm.
the goal. The goal is we do a thing weekly because we find value from it and we want to share that value with other people.
Yeah.
I want the same for my Patreon. I won't continue if I don't find value, even if the value can't be money. That's not enough because I will find it irritating. If I find it irritating and it costs me money, that's a day job.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if it brings me money. So I want it to bring me value beyond money. And that would be having people share things of their own and like in response to things I have shared. So if I shared like, oh, here's a great like list of facts I found about an English village that I was looking at, let me write a little narrative about it. And then they shared something about places they lived. I would love that.
Yeah.
Fascinating for me. And like recipes, local recipes to where they live and interesting like their own Christmas traditions. I would love all that. So I want to create a space where I've almost like laid out a little reading room of cute things and people can come to the reading room, write a little note of their own, and we all just quietly admire these things. That I think is what I would like, and it might develop in future in different ideas, but like that is what feels right to me. And that feels like quite a revelation,
Yeah.
epiphany.
Yeah.
Just that like that would be satisfying to me, and I think it's interesting to like I want to make sure I'm thinking about the purpose of this, right? Like, there's no point doing this just to create a space for people. Like, what's the point? Like, I definitely want to monetize the Patreon if I'm going to do it, and have different tiers. But there is stuff in there that I think I could do that's valuable. Like, I put a blog together weekly currently on my website, and if I did an audio recording of that, that would be quick and easy for me. And I have a charming English accent people surely would enjoy listening to. I could do things like send people a little postcard from an English village, which would be inexpensive, and I would enjoy it, and hopefully they would enjoy reading it. So there's plenty of things that I think would add authentic value and create a little group of people who like the same things.
Yeah.
But also, one of those things are my books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think it sounds fun. I can't start another account somewhere else. I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done with how many accounts I have on different platforms. But I've used Patreon in the past and I really like it. I've used it, like I've joined other people's Patreons and I think it's a really cool place to be. I just don't feel like I am interesting enough or have that much to offer. So you have so much to offer. I think you're really good at, like you say, like tending to other people and being a sharer of stuff, whereas I just want to be part of a conversation that I can happily dip out of whenever I want.
Yeah.
And so I think the thing that I want to do feels like a very small change, something that I can easily adapt to, and I think that's probably where we are with a lot of things in our businesses right now, is that things are no longer like a huge change. Like, I don't have to completely pivot to do something else. It's like sometimes it's literally just a tweak of something that I'm already doing, which can open up another avenue of something. So what I really want to do is start sharing more about what I'm reading and doing comps of that. So like, I've read this book, it gave me these kinds of vibes, and also kind of like my book, and try and facilitate like conversations where other people can relate to things that are within my theme, my genre, but it's not clear that I'm just trying to hook them in, because I want it to feel more like a conversation. Because I love posts like that on Instagram, and they're probably my most interacted posts with other people's accounts, is seeing like when they actually have read the book, seeing the other books that they recommend as well. Like, oh, I read this book and it really made me think of this series, and when I see that, I'm like, oh, I loved that series. So I instantly have that kind of connection where I think this person's opinion of this book is instantly trustworthy, and I feel like we could be friends. And that's where I think I'm going to try and take my Instagram, is like, I'm not going to change what I'm doing, I'm just going to add a little bit extra to try and facilitate more conversation around stuff, rather than trying to shove my book down their throat.
Mm.
And that feels like a really obvious thing. Maybe for some people, like, yeah, of course you should be sharing your, like, what you're reading. But it's just not in my usual habit, because I've always like hated talking to people about books. But I've obviously made a Canva template where I can do this. So it's just literally just shove the book cover in here, add the books that you liked, that like you think that fit with that thing. And that's such an easy thing to do. And I feel like that will give me a little bit more of a voice within a reader community. And that's my epiphany. just little changes.
Yeah. I might feel like a little change, actually. I think because it's all stuff that actually I'm underusing already, like I already have that I'm underusing. So it would just feel like actually a way to organise what I've been trying to do for a while. So that feels really positive. And I instantly, like, as soon as I started thinking about it, it's like I've got loads of ideas of stuff I could do that people would enjoy being part of here. So it feels like just I'm trying to make a space that people, including me, would enjoy.
Yes.
And I'm also, because I really enjoyed this Christmas doing my like Christmas Advent scratch off, where I read a book a day and did that, and that felt like a fun way. It felt interactive, even though there was only me on screen, right? So I'm on screen, I was doing a video where I scratched off something, said what I'd read yesterday, talked about that, then scratched off something to say what I'm going to read today, how it felt about that. And it did feel like a conversation, even though people obviously also weren't reading a book a day to converse about the books that I read. But I think it felt like people were following along, like the same people were liking it. It felt like it was almost like a narrative.
Yes.
And I enjoyed that, and it felt easy because it was authentic, because I do love Christmas, and I really did love the books that I read, and I was excited about it, and I'd made a fun craft thing, and I'd gone, further than I had to go with like this project, which again felt like it represented me. And so that really made me think, like, one thing I want to definitely do is that will feel easy, right? I'm all about ease. Is more stuff around Christmas. So I've bought the domain christmascozies.com because somebody randomly was offering it, like at the exact time I was thinking about this, and it was like super cheap, and I was like, yeah, I'll have that. I can use that. So, and that really made me think of, like, again, it felt easy, and I had loads of ideas straight away of stuff I could do that wouldn't feel like a lot of work, that could collect, that was like providing a service that I think should exist, which is just to like collect the Christmas Cozy Mystery series together. And I'm going to do things on there, like ask other authors in the niche to have interviews and do some videos and stuff on there. And I'm going to do, I think maybe starting in summer, like do a little YouTube channel where I, do things like start preparing crafts and baking foods and like things that I would be doing anyway.
Yeah,
and, like, always like as an excuse.
Yes,
Start
I forever think like, oh, I'll restart my YouTube channel, because I used to do YouTube every week for years. I did YouTube every week and had not like a big following, but I had a good group of friends within YouTube as a community, and it was so much fun, and I just didn't have time for it anymore. And every now and again I'm like, oh, maybe I should really try and get back into it, but I just don't have the time. But I don't know whether like just doing a series, like a short series, might be a fun thing to do. But time.
But I think I liked the kind of time limited thing last Christmas of this advent calendar scratch off, and that made me that gave me a chance to see what I do like, what I don't like about this, what I would like more of, what I found fun about it myself, and what rewarded me. I think that's the thing I found last year. We've done a few different like challenges, 30-day challenge, 60-day challenges, and that has definitely felt like a great way for me to like, that ties into my strengths, right? Like I like having a very specific thing to like focus my attention on, to win at, to learn about, to go deep into, rather than just like the amorphous, like, be on social media. Like, that to me means nothing. But like, do a 30-day reading challenge on social media, great. I can do that. I can figure out ways that appeal to me to do that. So I think I'm only wanting to do things to build community that feel authentic, because that is important to me, but not important to everyone in the same way. So to me, I've had a chance to see, like, I want to do authentic things. I want to do things that, because I hate quitting, right? And I really quit a lot of stuff to do with social media because it's not fun. So I only want to do things that I find reward me immediately, not in like financial long-term fan building ways. So it has to be immediately rewarding, has to feel authentic. It has to be like ticking those boxes of like providing service, learning stuff, and like I could do. There's no limit to what I could do in that. That's not true. Obviously, time is a reality, but like it feels like there's no limit. Whereas like things to do with chit chatting, I couldn't do 1 minute of it without being like, oh, I hate this.
Oh, I love it when people leave comments on my social media and I just will look at it and then come back to it later.
I feel like
Oh.
if someone leaves me a comment and it's just like chit chat and I'm like personally offended, like why are you trying to steal my life from me, making me chit chat with you? Yeah, and apologies if anyone feels talking about that. It's not you. It's just
No,
like,
this is a you problem. Yeah, I'm like, oh, this
yeah.
person's going to be my best friend. Apart from recently, where I posted something that I left spelling mistakes, and I swear there were no spelling mistakes when I did the first draft, but it went wrong, and I had to go back into it and reformat the text, and then my phone changed words, and people have pointed it out. Pointed out a couple of things that I felt were unnecessary. They were the ones I didn't like. But usually I like it when people leave comments.
I
But
mean,
also I
it's
found
not your
that
fault you can't spell.
I know it's not my fault. And also I hate the fact that rage baiting worked because
Yeah.
people were obviously annoyed.
Yeah, but I don't want to engage with that. I cannot.
No, I know.
I would rather die in a ditch than make
don't
money from that.
don't reward me with like being seen, but
Yeah.
because I've been stupid. Because I don't want to be the person who continues that. But it feels like I could. I feel like I could rage bait like with the best of them.
Oh, please don't. I'm not my friends anymore.
Okay, I won't. I promise. I don't have anything else left to say on this topic. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, apart from the fact that I think we were saying at the beginning in our mastermind conversation, it felt like we were talking about really different things to what we had done a couple of years ago. And I think this feels like a great example of that. Of like, this is an example where the way we're talking about it feels like how I want to be thinking about things. Of just like, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? What feels good to me about this? Not like, what should I be doing?
Yes. Yeah, that is true. It's like I don't feel like I should be doing anything in particular. I just know that if I make a small change, I might be able to just ever so slightly steer my ship towards the fish-infested seas rather than the whirlpool that I'm heading towards.
Yeah, and I think we only ever talk about topics in the podcast that we've both kind of been mulling around for a while. And this is something where I think we were both thinking like, oh, I feel like there's more I can be doing. And I feel drawn towards doing something more. And we just want to have a talk about like what shape could that take? What would interest us? Because I often feel like with this sort of topic where there's no obligation to do it, right? We could just do nothing. It's easy just to be like, oh, I feel like there's something in this area, but I don't know what, and then put it aside for 6 months. I'm like, I'll come back to that. Whereas I think just having a conversation about it just moves your thoughts along a little bit further. Like, there's no urgency right now to be doing anything. There's no feeling like, oh, we have to build a fandom. It's more just like there's more and more conversations around in the air at the moment about, making sure you're showing yourself as human. And that's played on both our minds. And I've been making these little videos to be like, oh, I do really want to do something like that. And it feels nice and it feels easy. And that has kind of led me towards like, what more do I want to do? What more can I be getting out of this? And then how can I not think of it in terms of fandom or chit chat? What does it mean to me? And so that feels like even if we did nothing immediately, this feels like a good time to have the conversation to kind of get more thoughts moving around.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely not going to be setting up Patreon tomorrow. But having kind of been thinking about this for a while, when somebody was randomly offering like christmascozies.com, I was like, yeah, I have ideas what I could do with that. I felt like you.
Yeah.
I felt like, oh yeah, find the domain.
See, I have obviously had a good effect on you because you're like grasping at opportunities and chasing those like exciting things, which I think is one of my better qualities. If I'm being honest, I think a lot of people think that I'm easily distracted, but I think
you're good at seeing the possibility in something in a way that I think when it comes to community especially, like I'm very quick to shut down, to be like, oh, that means Facebook groups, don't want that, shut down. Whereas now we've done enough things and you've rubbed off on me so much of like, there's like ways in which you can just try stuff and see how it works and see
Yeah.
how that feels and then go a bit further in that area. It
Yeah.
definitely felt like, yeah, I could see what I could do with that.
Yeah, it's like just fun to try stuff and not be super attached to it. You can just and yeah, I just like to try my hand at everything and anything. I'm such a hobby collector, but it's because I want to be I'm the actual like jack of all trades, master of none. Is still better than jack of all trades, master of none is still better than master of one, isn't it? So I enjoy being somebody who will just try and gather as much experience as possible in different things, see what sticks.
And it comes together. Like you can sort of put two things together in an interesting way that don't really belong together. Like that's what genius is like tying two things that don't really belong together in a new way. And I think if you can get too focused on one path, especially if it's not the path that you are certain is correct. Like I think in self-publishing there really is a sense of like, just publish another book, and it's like, we've done that, and then now we've got a bunch of books that like, oh, we're not really being as effective as we could be with it, so let's go back and rethink. And that's where we're at this year. I feel like we're not hilarious geniuses today. I feel like we're just geniuses today. I think I feel very like calm and thoughtful, and like this is a good conversation to be having in a long range way.
Yes, I think that we have kicked off the 1st of February. the first, like
that's when we're recording.
The move into the new season, and it feels like we've taken a step on a new path, going in the right direction, but don't know, like, happy to see what comes up. The cat has rejoined us, so she's just desperate for attention. I will move us along and try and get us out of here then, because I realise we're going
she's
for a
got
long one again, and she's going to come and swipe at the microphone. So next week we are discussing short-term versus long-term business development. Have you got any initial thoughts on this?
I don't know what you said because my cat's on my headphone.
Okay.
What are we talking about next week?
So we are doing short-term versus long-term business development.
Yes, it's sort of tied to today. So I think today we're kind of looking at a topic that feels like it's sort of short-term in that it's like doing something maybe soon, but actually it's for long-term, quote-unquote fan building. But the other kind of extreme of short-term business development is running ads. So we're doing both at the moment, and just want to talk about how we're thinking about those, how we're balancing those, and maybe look at opportunities we might not be hitting at the moment.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that because I think that it is one of those topics where we both think that we know where we're going, but we probably haven't asked ourselves all the questions. Like, we don't know all the steps that we'll necessarily need to take to get to where we want to go. And the only way that I know that I'll figure that out is by talking about it out loud. So I have I've got like such a vivid idea of where my business is going and the sort of career that I want, the sort of books that I want to release, but I have no no strategy of how I'm going to make that happen other than just doing what I'm already doing. And I don't think that that's necessarily the right answer. So I'm excited to talk about it and try and have some big epiphanies, which I'm sure I will. Yeah.
Yes, and we have got many epiphanies coming up because we are about to run our retreat. If you are listening when this comes out, make sure you're in the Discord because you've only got a few more days to sign up to the retreat. We're putting out the form today as we're recording to sign up to it. As we said, we're going to do it on the 1st of Feb. So the form will be going up today. We've been finalising that today as part of our mastermind session. And you can sign up to one or all of the 4 days. There are days on mindset, creativity, money and business, and there'll be half-day sessions are in the morning UK time, which are led sessions where we've put together big workbooks full of different exercises and different topics, and you can choose what calls you right now / what you don't want to do that really means you should do it. That's what I'm going to pick.
Yes.
And then you get the workbook to go away with to work through, and there's easily several more hours worth of content in there for you to be doing kind of at your own pace. So it should be really good. We're going to have reflection sessions. We're talking through things. You can share as much or as little as you want to in the actual sessions when we're talking about things. This is going to be a maybe slightly small trial run of things you want to do in future. So make sure if you're thinking about signing up, you do sign up, because we've got a limited number of spaces. We want to make sure that we give enough time to everybody, that we, have time to really get into things, and get into the nitty-gritty of all the topics we're discussing. I am very much looking forward to it, especially because there's things in the workbook that I don't want to do at all. And so
100%. Yeah, so we've put together these workbooks, and as I'm formatting them and everything, I'm thinking oh no, I desperately need to do this myself. And that's the thing, we are also taking part in this. We're leading this retreat, but we are also participants. So we'll be having very open, honest conversations, and it will basically be like this podcast, but a retreat version.
I'm more structured.
So if you want to join us in our absolutely insane ramblings, then definitely come along. Yeah, first come, first served.
Yeah, and we have been very careful to put in things for people of all sorts of levels, that you should definitely have published something already, because I think it's not beginner conversations.
No.
But anything from publish something already to wanting to reevaluate your business as it's grown, there should be stuff in the workbooks for you at whatever stage you're at.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's in a couple of weeks, which feels like it's coming upon us very quickly. So do sign up as soon as you see the link in the Discord, and hopefully you get a space and you can join us. If not, we are planning to do more things like this. So if you can't happen to make those dates, don't cry too long about it, but do come along if you can.
Yes. And we will be back next week. So thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.